gorgeous! Fantastic finish!
How about this?
Chelsea are the Women's Super League champions.
Come on then.
Welcome along to North London. Fantastic surroundings. Even Bethany England is still surprised by the sight of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Barclays WSL action this lunchtime as Spurs, still in the mix for Champions League qualification, face a resurgent Everton side. Spurs beating Aston Villa 7-3 in their last league outing. Scott Phelan has done really good work since his appointment as Everton boss last month. Yes, the Toffees were knocked out of the FA Cup by Liverpool prior to the break in the campaign, but before that, 3 league victories in a row. So for the second time this season, Martin Ho's side will step out at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 2 teams raring to get back at it. It's Spurs against Everton. Well, it is a reduced Barclays WSL schedule this weekend due to the League Cup final. Huge game at St Helens, the bottom 2 involved as Liverpool take on Leicester. With Chelsea and United out of league action, Manchester City have the chance to get closer to their league title away at Aston Villa. And Arsenal, level on points with Spurs at kick-off, are in Bromley at London City Lionesses. Those other games have been kicked over to midweek. Chelsea, Brighton, West Ham United. Well, with just 6 games to go for most of the teams in the table, this is how things look now. Spurs 5th, not far off the Champions League positions, level on points with Arsenal, although the Gunners have 2 games in hand. Everton, thanks to their 3 wins in a row, have shot up the table away from the relegation-threatened trio of West Ham, Liverpool and Leicester. Both teams will emerge shortly. Let's hear from the respective managers, Everton Scott Phelan in a moment, but first, Spurs boss Martin Ho.
Big game here today at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Team news first, a couple of changes from the last time out in the FA Cup. What was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, more just what we feel the game's going to present and how we want to start the game. And yeah, Lena coming in for her first start as an academy graduate was worked really hard, has put a lot of effort into to adapt the game and develop a game, and yeah, she's deservedly gets this start today.
You've had to shift around your backline a little bit due to the Asian Cup. What are you expecting from the players coming in?
Yeah, the same level of performance that we expect from everyone. No difference in terms of quality, no difference in terms of application, attitude. It'll give us a totally different outlook in terms of game because they're all different players, our centre-backs. But I'm really excited to see them play. You
know Everton pretty well and Scott Phelan as well pretty well. What are you expecting from them and how are you preparing for this one? Yeah,
Scott I've known for a while. Phil, as assistant, I know him from my time at Everton in the academy, and yeah, 2 wonderful people, very good coaches, very astute at what they do, and yeah, I know it's going to be a tough task. They've had some really good results in their last 2. If you include the third one, that's 3-3 in the league. The only disappointment's been the cup. So yeah, we know we're in for a tough game. We're going to have to be our best.
You hit some really good form in the league in the last block. What was the key behind that, and how have preparations been? Obviously, there's been a big break in between.
Yeah, obviously the group is split a lot away with the country. A small training group continued to train at Finch Farm. So it's been productive. A lot of the experiences the girls have had away with the countries have been really good as well. So you gave an opportunity to refresh and also reflect on the previous games. We have some ideas that we want to try and implement a little bit more now we've had the chance to get to know each other. So hopefully we can see that moving forward after the league restart.
And finally, what are you expecting from Tottenham, a manager you know pretty well?
Yeah, a well-coached team, a team full of talented players. We've obviously watched them as they would have watched us for the last 3 or 4 games. And there's got some talent in their group, we know that. But hopefully we've found little areas that maybe we can show our talents as well. And that's the plan today. We want to come here and implement our own style and way of playing. And hopefully that's the good cause.
Brilliant, thank you, good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Scott Phelan and Martin Ho there. Delighted to say alongside me, Rob Daly, is Fern Whelan, FA Cup winner with Everton and former England international. First of all, Fern, after the break in the season that we've had in terms of club football, it's great to have the Barclays WSL back.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic that everyone can get back into the rhythm and the routine of playing, obviously, league football. They've all had a good opportunity to be either in club or be away internationally. International fixtures, but I think, you know, it's a short turnaround getting them back in after the international break, but I think that we can now obviously look forward to getting the league back up and running. An exciting game ahead of us today.
Don't let the sunshine deceive you, by the way. It is a chilly day in the north of London. On Spurs, Fern, what have you made of their campaign so far and their push for top 3?
Yeah, to be honest, I've been really impressed with Spurs this season. They're a really exciting team to watch going forward, but not only that, I think they've assured themselves defensively this season as well. They don't concede too many goals, they're difficult to beat. And I think they're just a really exciting team to watch, especially we saw in the win against Aston Villa last time out. They won 7-3, so you know they've got goals in abundance, and I'm sure we'll see that today.
Well, Spurs step out at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with ambitions to be in the mix for Champions League football. Everton, who appear to have moved away from danger, and these are two teams bang in form right now, 5th versus 8th at kickoff in the Barclays Women's Super League. When the sides met at Goodison earlier on in the campaign, it was Spurs who edged it, and Tinker Tambo's extraordinary goal from near the halfway line stole the show, Fern.
It did. It just showed what confidence they've got in abundance amongst the side to be taking shots from the halfway line and it going in, nestling in the back of the net. But I think Everton are a very different side that we'll see today. They're under new management, under Scott Phelan as well, and you know they've won their last 2 league games. They'll be energised today coming into this. So as you say, 2 teams that are really in form and really exciting to raring to go today.
Both teams missing notable players as well due to international duty. So the huge news for Spurs is that academy graduate Lena Gunning-Williams makes her first Barclays WSL start. She'll line up in the attack with the likes of Tinker Tambo, Matilda Vinberg and the informed Olivia Holt. Spurs have issues at centre-back because Tucker Koga and Claire Hunter at the Asian Cup. So Molly Bartrip and Josephine Rybrink are expected to play at the heart of their defence. Everton are forced into changes due to Asian Cup absentees too. Pacheco, Gali and Payne all come in, with Kitagawa, Hayashi and Wheeler on international duty. There's a first toffee start here for Zari Kramshar, who joined on loan from Roma. Who leads the attack, we'll wait and see. But Ornella Vignola is their joint top scorer with 4 goals, 3 of them coming at Anfield against Liverpool. An embrace of 2 managers that know each other extremely well. Martin Ho with his own Everton affiliations. What has Scott Phelan done, Fern, to improve them so dramatically?
Yeah, for me, the area where I've seen the most improvement is probably in that defensive area. I think they just look a lot more assured that they are solid at the back. They're going to concede less goals. They've had those 2 clean sheets under their belt in the league now, so that will give them the confidence to then build upon, to go forward and then capitalise on. They seem to be sure that they're going to do that and then counter in good transition and then in good numbers, and they can be clinical in front of goal. I think that's an area for me where I'd like to see them really develop, is being that clinical edge in front of goal and scoring more goals. You know, they've only scored 18 goals this season. I think that's an area where they can definitely build on. But for me, it seems like he's really energised the squad, and you've got players that are wanting to play for the manager, which obviously is what you need.
Well, this is a Spurs group missing some notable players, but you can sense the energy amongst the group that they're going to relish the opportunity to play here as well. So a start for Lena Gunning-Williams. What a moment for the Spurs Academy product.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? As you say, Spurs Academy product coming through the ranks, getting a chance to start today.
Well, a moment of reflection this lunchtime in honour of two associated with the women's game. 15-year-old Amelia Applin, goalkeeper for Oxford United, who tragically passed away after collapsing during an academy game. And we remember Amy Carr, the former Chelsea goalkeeper, England Youth International, who died following a battle with a brain tumour at the age of 35. Well, the crowd are in slightly different surroundings to usual for the Spurs women team. But they've had some memorable games here. Famous FA Cup semi-final win over Leicester. A North London derby win when Martha Thomas scored a cracking goal. And Everton stepping out of Goodison Park for their trip to North London. Fern Whelan, what kind of game are you expecting today between these two?
I think potentially we might be seeing a bit of a cagey start from both teams, just trying to feel each other out. Obviously, as you said before, there's players missing for both sides away in the Asia Cup, so they're having to adapt, and maybe we might see different styles of playing from, you know, players, especially Everton today. You can see kind of Yuka Mamiki's kind of come more centrally, whereas the last couple of games you've seen her playing out wide. So I think it's the first 10 minutes, they'll just be finding their feet and feeling each other out a little bit, but from then, potentially a bit more expansive.
Well, Everton win the ball back early. And looking to settle on things here is Aurora Galley, and Payne with her pace is breaking him behind, and Spurs are stretched so early in the match. Great chance, and what a stop. Lisa Kopp off of her line to keep out Everton. Brilliant goalkeeping.
It's fantastic goalkeeping there from Kopp. I think Tottenham Hotspur just switched off in the build-up to this, and Tony Payne was really alert driving forward, but Kopp's equal to it. Yeah, I mean, she makes a really early positive decision, which you need from your goalkeeper, and Tottenham Hotspur will need to switch on. Looks like she may have injured herself in the process.
Yeah, it looks it, doesn't it? Brave goalkeeping from Kopp, but she's felt the full effect of that and is needing some treatment now. But Fern, Everton just got in behind so easily there, and they had two options out on that right side.
Yeah, there was me saying it was going to start cagey. But yeah, potentially they just saw the space, didn't they? And I think you're going to find that today on, you know, such a big stadium, big pitch. Potentially the spaces might open up, and it's an area where, you know, a bit of a disjointed Tottenham Hotspur back line. As you say, personnel changes in there. They're going to have to switch on from the off, because she is very quick out on that right-hand side, Payne, and she will eat up the space if it's given to her.
Kopp back to her feet, and Payne was still being treated as well. But she'll make her way into this Spurs penalty area for the first corner of the day. They've had joy with set pieces in recent times, Everton, and that is right in on the near post. Belted back towards goal, but it's a comfortable catch from Kopp as Van Hoel directed it towards her compatriot.
Yeah, it's a comfortable start there. Like, obviously from the corner, Mamiki's delivered in. Tottenham equal to it. Van Hoel's trying to get it back in amongst it, but yeah, easy save for the goalkeeper in the end.
Van Hoel wins it back. It's back with Molly Bartrip, who captained the side during the FA Cup win on penalties against London City Lionesses. That was Spurs' last game prior to the break in the season. Late equaliser from the spot from Bethany England. Brilliant penalty drama as Hannah Veit, the young right-back who started today, thumped home the winning penalty. Kopp the hero that day as well in the shootout. Spurs on the march for the first time. Galley drawn out from her central midfield position, and Galbset with a slightly heavy touch, and it will be an Everton throw-in.
Yeah, and we're seeing Payne having to come back and defend there as well, which potentially she might be needed at times to come back and help Hannah Blundell out. At times they're going to double up out on that left-hand side.
So Hannah Blundell, who's on loan from Manchester United since the winter window, so she's loving playing at Goodison Park at the moment. Here's Bartrip. Summonen who is in midfield. We did wonder if she might play in defence, but she shifted on to Holt, who appears to be playing just behind Tinka Tanberg, having been so effective centrally recently. Well, it's good pressure. One back by Matilda Wimberg.
It's really good pressure there, isn't it, from Spurs. The Wimberg out on that left-hand side. That's what Tottenham do so well. Keep the opponent within their own 18-yard box and really press aggressively with that counter-press.
Rybrink. Back into Molly Bartrup, who's been at Spurs for such a long time. We joined the club in 2021, having been at the academy previously too. Here's Holt. And a loose pass picked off by Everton, and Van Hool will settle things down for the Toffees. Just waiting for the pressure here, isn't she, Courtney Brosnan? Cramshaw makes herself available. Bartrip shuts it down.
Yeah, you can see what Everton are trying to do. Ruby May's trying to find the feet of Cramshaw there. Right idea, but as the ball's coming into her, she needs to be able to secure that and then give the set off. I think it was for Mamiki coming in to get the second balls.
When we saw the Everton lineup, we weren't sure on the configuration of that attack, but you saw the warm-up firm where you got an idea that these two might be playing through the middle.
Yeah, you see Mamiki's just coming central. They're forming a bit of a two, Mamiki and Cramshaw, and then she'll be helping out defensively, as we can see here up against Summonen.
On by Summonen. Wimberg. Back with Rybrink again. Cross does eventually come into the middle. It's a decent delivery towards Tanberg. And that's her centre-forward instinct. She did get onto it.
Yeah, Everton are going to have to be aware of that as the ball does come in from these crosses from wide areas. They'll look to do that early, Spurs, and Tanberg does well to get on the end of it. I think Brosnan was equal to it.
Well, Brosnan playing out will be picked off by Spurs. Summonen, too eager to move that on quickly, and Everton are given the ball back. Mamiki out to Payne. Drops it back to Ruby Mace.
I think at times Everton can be guilty of that. They do so well in possession of the ball at times, but sometimes can cause themselves their own problems. We saw it there with Brosnan playing out from the back. They're just going to have to switch on to that because they can't afford to do that against Tottenham, who will, as we see here, go in numbers.
Martina Fernandez. Vignola. Now Mace. Not applying pressure. They seem quite happy now that Everton have made their way up to halfway to sit in their blocks here, Spurs. Mace takes it upon herself to charge full from centre-back. Payne can't reach it. Mamiki will. And Payne's offside.
It's a really good build-up there, though, from Ruby Mace driving out from the back. Obviously a natural midfielder, so we know what she's capable of when she does have the ball at her feet. She's very composed. But in and around her there, that's where she needs players and she needs the support. And I think it was just Payne who's drifted offside in the end at that time.
Scott Phelan came in at the start of last month. It was his birthday on Friday, turning 38 years of age. Moved from the under-18s at the club into the women's side, and he's had a good start in truth, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. I think he speaks about it himself in press conferences, that he knows the club, he knows what it's about. He's obviously a former player himself, so he can transfer his knowledge like that onto the players as well.
Well, it's a brilliant piece of trickery that draws ooze from those in the West Stand. Spurs apply the pressure again and force Everton into the error. Julie Blackstad, who joined in the winter transfer window from Hammarby, the Norwegian international, who's needed at left back again today with Amanda Nilden suspended.
Yeah, they've been forming quite a partnership, the pair of them out on that left-hand side, hadn't they? Blackstad and Nilden, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes today.
Just run out of play by Wimberg. Martin Ho, with his own associations to Everton Football Club. In his younger days, he was assistant manager to the women's team as well, 2015-2018. So no doubt a special occasion for him today to host the Toffees.
Yeah, the players speak really highly of him, don't they, in terms of, you know, what he brings to the side and that mentality that he brings in terms of always wanting more, and sounds like he's a bit of a perfectionist.
Well, his side have forced Everton into the concession of a corner. Spurs' first of the day. Courtney Brosnan with the glare of the sun in her eyes here as Spurs whip in the delivery. It's fired in fact, and into the side netting, and Spurs will get to go again. Sinja Gaubset was one of those at the near post.
Yeah, Everton do well to just defend this first corner, obviously wanting to be switched on. It's, as you say, it's Gaubset at the front post. I think it's coming off potentially Hannah Blundell right at the last minute there to go out front of the corner.
It's another one fizzed right in. And it's those players at the near post for Everton that deal with it again. Blackstad moves it on. Rybrink. And it will be whipped in towards Tamberg, and Gunning-Williams was offside when it was nodded onto her. Looks like she's playing out on the right-hand side for Spurs today.
Yeah, it's not the first time they've tried that to go from left to right as well, and to do it early. I'm just wondering if that's a bit of a style of play, and something they're trying to adopt is the quick switch over onto this left-hand side.
Pacheco worked that down the line well. And this is great football from Everton. Kramchar trying to get away from Bartrip. She has. Mamiki hits a crisp shot right into the corner. Brilliant goal. Yuka Mamiki finds the net. And Everton, with their second major chance of the day, have scored their first goal. Lisa Kopp couldn't get down to it. Spurs 0, Everton 1.
It's a great bit of play from Everton, just finding the space down this left-hand side. It's Kramchar who drives in field, really brave, and finding Mamiki at the edge of the box. And I think it takes a deflection on the way in with the shot as Mamiki struck it, but it's really positive from her. She's been in great form of late, Yuka Mamiki, and as I say, first thought is to take a strike, and yeah, Kopp can't get down to it.
In form Everton, 3 league wins in a row coming into this, are up at Tottenham Hotspur. And maybe a slight graze helped it on its way. It certainly does, that's what beats Kopp, but it's a good strike anyway from Mamiki, her second league goal of the season. Everton into a promising position again. Vignola. Drops it in fields. Knocked on by Tamberg. And Gaubset will look to settle Spurs here. Fantastic start from Everton.
Yeah, they had the initial one, didn't they, where they found the space from Payne, and then we've not really seen them trouble Kopp too much in the Tottenham goal, and then they find that space down this left-hand side, which has been there. They've just not utilised it up until now.
Yuka Mamiki joining in the summer from Leicester City after her deal expired there. She speaks about how competitive the Barclays WSL is, but she's a regular in this Everton team. 3 other games in the Barclays WSL right now. Big game at St Helens. The bottom 2 face off. Liverpool leading Leicester early on there. Bartrip. It was interesting hearing Scott Phelan in the pre-match interview talking about how he thinks he'd spotted things they could get at with his Spurs team. They've got it again here. Cut out by Summanen. Galbsep. As well to get a toe onto that. A ripple of anticipation when Olivia Holt gets on the ball, but her and Gunning-Williams weren't quite on the same page.
Yeah, not the right decision really in that moment, but you know, I think what you're saying, we talked about, you know, versatility and being able to adapt to kind of formations and changes, and I think Yuka Mimiki's done just that. She can play central, she can play out wide, and today she's being asked to play a little bit higher.
Tamberg stays on it. Galbsep. Vinberg forced wide here, tracked by Mace. Galbsep. We've seen in the early days of her as a Spurs player how well she carries the ball. They do have options in the middle. Hannah Vake, good thump, Gunning-Williams, and Everton to get it clear.
Yeah, defend that well, Everton. Again, you just see Tottenham trying to use that left-hand side and build with Blackstad and Vinberg out on that left-hand side, and it was a really positive move for them. As you say, Everton defended it well in good numbers.
Holt sees the run of Tinker Tamberg. Flag stays down for her. Tamberg! Flag does go up belatedly.
Really good awareness and vision from Holt, though, wasn't it, with the ball through to find Tamberg, and she just drifts offside. But that is going to be an exciting and interesting matchup for me today, Tamberg and Mace. Mace has been in really good form in that central defence area as well.
Pass punched into Mace, who hangs it up in the general direction of Kramchar. And it did look a bit clumsy from Tinker Tamberg trying to win the ball back.
Yeah, again, we see it again here, don't we? It's just that battle between them. Not very little in it for me, I think, at the end of the day there, but it will be, as I say, be interesting to see how that matchup pans out across the course of the 90.
You're not giving your fellow defender the benefit of the doubt there, so no.
No comment.
It's out towards Payne, and it is going to be an Everton throw-in here. These victories at Everton, by the way, have come against Aston Villa, who admittedly are out of sorts right now in the Barclays WSL. London City Lionesses' super win away from home, where Courtney Brosnan on the ball here was the key player, really, with a number of outstanding saves in a 1-0 win. And then the victory over West Ham United as well, just before the break.
Yeah, and again, the goal in that game came from a counter and from a transition, and it's like what we're used to seeing from Everton as late, being defensively compact and then finding the space when they capitalise and go forward.
Arsenal are 1-up at London City Lionesses, so in the very early live league table, they've moved 3 points clear of Spurs in the table with a couple of games in hand. But a long way to go here. Pacheco, Mimiki, look at close control again from Mimiki. Vignola. Here's Pacheco playing at left back. It's going to be Spurs ball, in fact, and Everton were sure it was going to be their throw-in. Well, Martin Ho says that Scott Phelan has made Everton harder to beat, more compact, fluent, brave, direct in attack, and right now they'd moved to within 9 points of Spurs in the league table with a win here. Opens up for Blackstad. Vinberg. It's a deep delivery, but no one at the back post. It's going to stay in here. Gunning-Williams wants to apply the pressure.
So you see it in that attack as well. What I love about Spurs is when they do get on the ball and they do transition, they do it in good numbers. Sometimes they do it as if they're defending, they all rush forward, but at that moment the cross come in, they weren't able to get the bodies in the box, and the cross drifts a little too deep on that occasion. Yeah, we see it again here, it's just drifting out of play.
Yola, Gunning-Williams, that's worked out well for Spurs. Summonen. Galbset. Nice exchange between two of the winter recruits. Galbset has a low cross in, but there's Ruby Mace again with some good defending and drawing the challenge. Cramsharp.
Yeah, again, it was good defending from Ruby Mace. And Cramshaw's kind of come into a bit of a collision here, and Molly Bartrip's come out on the wrong side of it by the looks of things, but hopefully she's not in too much discomfort from that.
Yeah, maybe she was caught in the eye there, Molly Bartrip. So Molly Bartrip has now gone down, and this is a concern. I don't think she could see properly there for a moment, Molly Bartrip, and they're already without two centre-backs today, Spurs. So this will be a concern. A chance for both managers, regardless, to get in the huddle, Fern.
Yeah, defence isn't usually an area, is it, that you really want to be chopping and changing too much. I think, you know, Marty Ho likes to keep consistency in his back line, and they've already had to make changes in the back line today, and now, you know, we see it again. It looks like she's just been caught in the face there, and she come off the worst from the collision there with Cramchart, an elbow to the face. You can see it, and she's gone down in some pain there, and as you say, it would be really disappointing for them if they're having to bring her off and change things again in that back line, especially someone of Bartrip's calibre with the experience she's got for Tottenham. They'll need her today.
Well, she's stepping off the pitch for a moment now, the Spurs skipper for the day. One of the experienced heads in this relatively refreshed Spurs squad, you'd have to say, over the past 18 months. Still in discussions with the Spurs backroom staff down there. So for now, Evelina Summonen slots in at centre-back while Bartrip waits to come back on. Everton with the player advantage. Mason Fields. Back by Gali.
Yeah, it's just about Tottenham now. How can they stay switched on with the player down while Barstrip's off? She's coming back onto the pitch now, so getting themselves back into it. I think Everton have looked really positive over the last 10-15 minutes or so, especially since the goal. They're controlling things.
Boston has to step out. Pacheco. Mamiki. It's a great ball down the line. That's good play from Everton to get out.
Really good play from Everton. It started with Maz Pacheco, just putting the ball where she knew that someone was going to get on the end of it, and then you saw the communication between Kramchar and between Yuka Mamiki down this left-hand side. Really positive from them. You can see they're working collectively really well as a team.
Well, many of these Everton players have been away on international duty. Scott Phelan spoke of the fact he's had a small group to work with at Finch Farm during the international break. But clearly, those that stayed behind as well and worked with him on Merseyside have got the message. It's been a really accomplished 24 minutes so far from Everton. Tamberg popped forward, and Galbset runs and wins it. Great work from Galbset. Has options with her, but couldn't quite find Olivia Holt. Wimberg. Blackstad.
Yeah, Galbset did really well there in the pressure, just to make herself be the winner of the 50-50 battle. Just couldn't quite make it work, because Hannah Blundell, she recovered really well to get into position, but she is a player that's really impressed me since coming in January. Galbset, I think she's looked really lively, really positive going forward. And then obviously if we're looking here, dominating actually for passes completed is Tottenham with the 90 passes, but it is Everton obviously 1-0 up, and sometimes you say you can have all of the possession, but you've got to be clinical in front of goal and get your shots off, which Everton have done.
Galbset again. She can play in the advanced midfield positions, but she's trying to form a pairing right now with Evelina Summanen. Ticked on by Summanen. Wimberg. Galbset. Oh, great feet. But Everton defensively disciplined in their shape.
You say she's forming a pairing there with Summanen, isn't she, Galbset? But you can tell she's always got that mentality that she wants to go forward and she wants to play through the thirds and try and open up spaces between the lines.
Mamiki exchanges with Payne, one back by Spurs. So 2-0 the win at Goodison for Spurs back in September. It was actually Everton's first game with Goodison as its permanent home for the women's team. Artinen with the opener, Tinker Tamberg, stunning goal from, what, 45, 50 yards, deciding it that day, and Spurs have got the better head-to-head record of late, unbeaten in 5 against Everton. Right brink. Smart ball into Holt. It's her kind of area here. Gunning-Williams. Holt gets it back. Produces a piece of trickery away from Fernandez, and well claimed by Brosnan.
That was much better from Tottenham Hotspur. Great work down this right-hand side, and it's Holt with a great bit of individual brilliance to get the cross in, and yeah, Brosnan equal to it. But I think it's the first time we've seen really Gunning and Williams and Holt link up down that right-hand side and cause problems for the Everton back line, just showing what they're capable of.
Well, Olivia Holt taking her February form where she was nominated for Barclays WSL Player of the Month into the month of March. Here's Payne with that pace. Feels she's got the better of Blackstad. Super running and behind. Good defending in the end. And desperate defending from Spurs. Rybrink back there.
Yeah, Rybrink does really well, but this is all about Payne on the right-hand side. She just picks up the ball, and the bravery, the trickery, the directness just to go at Blackstad, and I think it's Rybrink coming in at the back line there who clears it. But yeah, she does really well, really positive from Payne out that right-hand side. They just needed Everton to get on the end of it.
Mamiki, the goal scorer, stands over this Everton corner. Fernandez in particular, one of those to watch in here as it's headed away by Blackstad. Miki goes first time. Oh, great ball, Tamberg away. And Spurs will see that pop into the gloves of Cobb.
Yeah, again, it's Mamiki doing really well, just putting the ball in the box, trying to make something happen for Everton. She's been really positive. Again, Tottenham do well defensively, but now it's really about what they can do going forward when they do get on the ball to try and break down this Everton side, who, as you can see here and now, in really, really good numbers and kind of just sitting off into those blocks.
Blackstad, Tinker Tamberg trying to race in behind, covered off by Mace. Molly Bartrick, by the way, does seem to be okay after that injury a few moments ago. Here's Hannah Vake. Gunning-Williams, little skip away here. Offload to Holt. Everton appealing that's their ball, and it will be their ball.
You see what she's capable of, don't you, when she gets on the ball, Gunn and Williams. I'd just like to see a little bit more of that from her, whether it's her team finding and in the right spaces, or when she does get on the ball, that little bit of positive forward-thinking mindset just to drive at defenders and find those spaces.
Must be a proud moment for her and her family. Grew up in Enfield. Of course, a huge Spurs supporting hub. And the site of the training ground as well, the modern training centre. They're now making her first league start. Played plenty of times last season, but as a substitute in truth.
No, it's really positive to see, especially with the growth of the game and, you know, youngsters potentially finding it more difficult to get in and amongst first team sides. You've got to be, you know, really brave in terms of the way you recruit and the way that you bring academy players through, and Tottenham have done just that with her.
Vignola. Fernandez. Everton might well back themselves here after back-to-back clean sheets in the league. 3 of their 5 league wins have been by a 1-0 scoreline this season. Makes the 4-1 victory at Liverpool look like a real outlier at the start of the campaign.
Yeah, and it shows, doesn't it, that if you can keep clean sheets, then that's all you need to do. Have that one moment in front of goal to be clinical enough, and then teams find it really, really hard to break you down and get themselves on the score sheet. And as you say, it's gained them points, especially over the last 2 games.
The win over Aston Villa at the start last month actually came under Brian Sørensen before the club made the difficult decision to part ways with their long-time head coach, nearly 4 years in the Everton dugout. Brush forward onto Kramjar. Hannah Blundell up at centre forward. Saw you do a double take there as well, Fern.
I think we both look quite shocked. Had to check the number on the back of the shirt there. But yeah, Hannah Blundell finding herself in a really advanced position.
Need to get back now, and she is back because Galbset's charging for her area of the pitch. Tamberg. Going to get bodies in the middle now, Spurs. Getting Williams in there, nods it down. But a push, I think, from the young forward.
Again, really good build-up play. It was Galbset who started it. We were talking about it before, that real positivity to drive forward and cause problems for defenders, and it just opened up that space on the left-hand side for Vinberg to deliver a crossing. Push on the back of Maz Pacheco. I think Everton are equal to the crosses coming in. I think they're defending them really well. It might be better in terms of Spurs. Can they get the ball down and play and try and find those gaps in between the back line a little bit more?
Crunching challenge from the Slovenian international Zara Kramjar, who joined in the January transfer window from Italian club Roma, the first Slovenian to play in the Barclays WSL, and trying to have their impact clearly. Summonen does somehow worm its way through to Holt, who somehow in turn keeps it. Hauled back by Van Hool.
Yeah, our initial thought, it did look like it was a foul from Van Hool. She just pulls back on the shoulder there. I'm not sure she needed to do it. Everton were in good numbers at the time.
Dropped off by Summonen. Vake headed away by Fernandez up towards Payne. Everton can't quite get the counter-attack going this time. Then what have you made to the Spurs' response to going behind early?
As I said, I think they've had the majority of the possession. I think they are building the attacks. It's probably just that that final decision, that final lack of quality really in that final third for Spurs, but I think there's been real positive signs from them since the goal.
Yeah, they've shaded the possession so far. Summonen tries to pounce upon it, does. Tamberg, Wimberg. And Everton put the ball out for a throw-in.
Yeah, as I say, I think it's just been that final pass, and Everton have been equal to kind of the crosses that are coming in early. It's really kind of what's your plan B.
Gampset making another adventurous run from midfield is Matilda Wimberg. Kramjar profits from that mild deflection as Everton counter-attack. Mamiki's kind of up with her. Payne arriving now.
I think credit to Spurs there, though. When they did lose the ball, there was 4, 5 players you can see breaking the necks to try and get back and into good numbers. And again, I think that's the mentality that Marty Ho has instilled on these players. Like, yes, you go forward offensively, but defensively you take care as well.
Too much on that out to Tony Payne. Haven't seen too much of Tony Payne so far, but when they have got it out to that side, she looks so threatening and quick.
Yeah, I think she's shown what she's capable of, hasn't she, when they do find her and they do get her on the ball. It's just sometimes that decision of whether to go long, find the space, thread the ball in between. But I think Tottenham are doing really well to condense the space from her on that side, really, majority of the time.
Bartrip back to Kopp, who did have to make an excellent early save to keep out Payne, but that's a really loose kick. Payne collects, Van Hool on. Mamiki. Back to the left back, Maz Pacheco.
Yeah, I think Mamiki wanted Van Hool to go past her then, didn't she, and kind of carry on a run down the left-hand side.
No way through for Holt. Brosnan inviting the pressure. does get out, Everton get out. Now Payne. So they do try and set away the winger here. Galley with a good running off of the ball, and it's into Kopp's arms.
Doesn't culminate in a goal there for Everton, but again, it's a good bit of play from them and really positive. It starts from the goalkeeper, found its way into Blundell. It comes, Garley's getting the cross in. And again, no one really getting across the keeper there, which is what potentially you will need in and around the 6-yard box. But positive build-up from them out on that right-hand side again.
Conan Williams beaten to it in the air. Vignola. It's a diagonal ball. Will it reach Payne? Yes, it will! And the finish was inventive, but just wide from Tony Payne, as Everton are so close to doubling their advantage.
Yeah, it's Vignola with the switch ball. She sees the space to try and find Payne in, and Blackstad can't clear it, and Payne just can't steer it towards goal. You can see what she's trying to do. She's trying to sneak it in that far post, but again, just can't sneak it inside. But that's what we've just been talking about, is when they do find her in those spaces, she can be really dangerous.
Has scored in cup competition this season, but not in the Barclays WSL, Tony Payne. Galbset. Ball in towards Tinker Tamberg is well dealt with.
Really good defending from Ruby Mace there. You see the smiles on her face. It means just as much to defend these crosses as well. It's Galbset doing really well. Gets the ball out to Wimberg. Bit of a different cross this time, playing it in along the floor, which potentially causes Everton a little bit more problems, but Mace was equal to it.
Yeah, signed for a reported club record fee in the summer from Leicester. Has already made her England debut and relishing her role at centre-back at the moment. Oh, and it's into the side netting, and For a split second, you wondered where Kramchar had directed the ball.
It's definitely what they're trying to do, though, isn't it? I think that's the last 3 corners. They've delivered them all really at that near post just to cause problems for Everton. Comes off Kramchar that time.
Will they go for it again here, Spurs? They do go for it again, and a similar kind of outcome.
Yeah, they've gone for it again. Change the corner taker. Put Gaupset on it this time. Try to find Summonen at the front post, but you see where she is as the ball's come into her head. She's far outside the post, so it's going to be really, really difficult to score from that angle. The run needs to be made a little bit later.
Are they just looking to flick that on, Fern? Back post, find someone else, hope it ends up in the net?
Yeah,
it's very direct.
Potentially a flick on, or I think they're trying to. If you're trying to score from it, you need to hold your run and do it a little bit later because you're already outside.
Oh, what a ball into Payne, who turns. Payne again, and this time into Kopp. Super move. Vignola's pass set her away.
Yeah, that link up again between Vignola, but that's such a clever ball just to play the pass there into Payne's path, and she does well to get the shot off. And they're causing more problems, but that vision from Vignola there just to slot it through and take out 4 or 5 Tottenham players in the move between the lines. Great vision from her.
Molly Bartrip with a booming ball forward to Wimberg. Gunning Williams, one of those in the middle here. Looks to take on Blundell, and Ruby Mace not mucking about with the clearance.
Good 1v1 defending there really from Blundell up against Wimberg, just to delay her, make it difficult for her to get that cross in. But interesting from Tottenham there, going back to front and missing out the press, just changing it up a little bit.
A good play again. Gunning Williams, though, is the only player in the penalty area. The cross delayed to give teammates time. Hannah Veik forward from right back. And now Everton have looked so threatening on the counter. Look to charge forward again, given to Summonen. Wimberg onto Gaupset. Gets the call from Hannah Veik forward from right back. Holt. Gaupset. Holt. Oh, not quite. Not quite onto the left boot of Evelina Summonen.
The build-up play there from Tottenham was really, really good. Again, down the right-hand side, Holt involved with Gaupset, but it's that player again that we've been talking about, Ruby Mace, defensively in the Everton back line. She's just equal to everything at the moment, and she's looking really, really strong defensively.
Gaupset, pocket of space, great deception. Still on it here, Gaupset. And her shot didn't quite have the required power. Gunning Williams. Holt. Veik coming up on the outside. Holt again. Oh, what trickery, Olivia Holt. That's extraordinary. And unfortunately for Spurs, it doesn't lead to a meaningful chance at Brosnan's goal.
What an unbelievable bit of trickery that was from Holt. It's the confidence in it to be able to do this with 3 Everton players around you. Just managed to tinker in between Pacheco and Kramchar and almost deserved a goal just for that, but it has been coming for Tottenham. Everton just trying to ride this spell out.
Gaupset. Holt again. Oh, and kind of pings about and actually works out in Spurs' favour. It's another corner kick.
Definitely not what Everton would have wanted, especially the way the last 5-10 minutes have gone. It's been all Tottenham, and now they've managed to, as you say, get another corner late on in this first half.
So are they going to blast this into the near post again?
I mean, if the other 3 or 4 are anything to go by, probably yes.
See if they'll get a runner across there. Galbset looks set to do that job. It's actually hung up this time. Tambo down and directed away from goal, but it is kept alive. Molly Bartrip on it. Galbset. Oh, what a pass that is. Blundell does get back. It was an important challenge to stop Sunun getting her shot away.
Blundell does so well there, just to recover. It was almost like Summonen had managed to find herself in acres of space, really, from the ball over from Galbset. You'd think that it was the first touch, really, that caused her problems. If that touch goes forward, she takes Blundell out the game, really, but it just allowed Blundell to recover and get back.
Confirmation of the 3 added minutes at the end of the first half at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But Everton defending well. Mamiki. Vignola. For the possession and attacks they have had, I'm struggling to think, Fern, of Courtney Brosnan being stretched, full stretched.
Exactly, yeah. Say they've had the pressure, they've had the build-up, that final ball, that final shot on goal, probably not so much to trouble Brosnan, but I say it has all been Tottenham in the last 10 minutes or so.
It's the one attempt on her goal. On target so far. Everton have actually, despite having less of it, fashioned better opportunities. Fernandez gets the challenge in. They can't find Mamiki. Everton free kick.
Yeah, I think as a former defender, I've got to heap quite a bit of praise onto Mace and Fernandez, the two centre-backs. I think they've been phenomenal within this first half. Not just defensively, but also on the ball as well. I think they've been really composed in decisions going forward.
So it's another free kick now to Everton. Someone felt that one, didn't she? The other thing with watching Mason Fernandez today, Fern, it's like two players who are loving defending. Like they want that challenge. They want the ball to come into the box. They're just clearing everything away right now.
Yeah, I absolutely love it when I see that as well, because they're taking pride in their 1v1 battle, and if one doesn't win it, the other one is there behind covering, and that's what you need. That's what you need as a team that's been in their position and maybe, you know, not seen the results maybe they've wanted this season. If you can rely on your back line, then, you know, that's a starting position and a foundation to go forward with confidence.
Mamiki, inventive enough to find Payne, who keeps it in by the corner flag. Nearly. Just dragged it out. You can see the desire in this Everton team, by the way. As soon as that throw-in was given Spurs, players sprinting back to get into their shape. Galbset blocks it. Vignola. Payne. Cuts it back. Blatchstadt there, flags up. Which did look suspiciously offside.
Do you know what? I'm crediting the build-up there as well for Everton, and again, you know, for Mamiki, I think she's thrown her body at it. It's a loose ball, but she's tried to make the most of it, and I think sometimes as a player you can expect the perfect pass, the perfect ball to find your feet, but that's not what they're doing today, Everton. They're going for everything, and any kind of loose balls, they're winning the 50-50s.
Sakop with a kick, and what is likely the final act of the first half. A few more seconds to play, in fact, as Summonen can't quite get it forward. But Everton will be delighted with their half-time advantage. A clean hit from the edge of the area from Yuka Mamiki on 13 minutes has the Toffees in front. Tony Payne could have scored with inside the opening seconds, and in fact she's had a couple of good opportunities. Olivia Holt right now looks like Spurs' most threatening attacking player, but Courtney Brosnan hasn't really been tested so far this afternoon. Cracking game in the Barclays WSL. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Everton 1.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Bonjour, ça va?
One more, I like this.
My name is Timmy. I'm here with, we're shooting with the WSL.
What is your biggest football lick? You got a few, haven't you, to be fair?
People who try too hard only when the manager's looking.
But I'm not really a big fan normally of like the really low socks, you know? But the girls look great, they do it in our team, just in any other team. Just any other team, I'm not really for it.
I don't like when the girl put the short like that and the little short.
Reveal the last thing that you search on Google.
Oh, that's gonna be embarrassing. I actually just writing an essay about ADHD, so yeah, Googled that.
Do you know what it was? The latest things in Costco.
Was it?
Yeah, because I went last night.
Fair enough. Get some good deals in Costco.
Yeah.
Oh, sing us a bit of your karaoke song.
Pardon?
Sing.
Sing.
Yeah, sing.
I'm still standing. Yeah.
Staring at the blank page before you open up the...
Shine bright like a diamond, diamond in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond.
Got Rihanna here.
Oh, won't you
Stay with me.
was you're all I need.
That's good.
That's
Thank
good.
Thank you.
I think it was a try.
Ever celebrated a goal and realized you were offside?
No, I don't score that many goals.
What's your hidden talent?
I'm good at bowling.
I can whistle without my fingers. Perform an impression of the teammate.
Mal?
Again.
Mal?
Celine, Mal. Every single time.
day.
You just have to say the tongue twister.
She sells, she sells on the sea. She sells seashells on the seashore.
Nice, we'll take that.
What is the weirdest superstition you have?
I always have beans before a game.
Beans?
Yeah, beans.
Give me a truth.
Allez! Show me your best impression of the elephant.
Show us your golf celebration.
Like that.
Yeah!
Exactly.
Exactly like that. Describe a teammate like a nature documentary.
Today we see Caitlin Hayes, tall as a tree, springing through the field, looking at any ball like a little gazelle. Yeah, that's what I've got.
That was good. That was just straight away.
Yeah, that was good.
Welcome back to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're at half-time in the Barclays WSL. Spurs are trailing Everton by 1-0. Lovely strike from Yuka Mamiki is the difference. Elsewhere right now, Manchester City being held by Aston Villa, a side that came into this one having lost their last 4 league games. Arsenal are looking to move away from Spurs and close the gap on the top 3. They're 1-0 up in Bromley at London City Lionesses. And a massive scoreline in St Helens right now between the bottom 2, 11th versus 12th. Liverpool lead Leicester by 1-0. A reminder, because of the League Cup final later on today, Chelsea and Manchester United in action in the week. Let's remind ourselves of how the action has unfolded so far in N17. And Fern Whelan, there was threats about Everton from the opening seconds of the game.
Yeah, there really was. This was really early on in the game. Tottenham just switched off, and Garley with a really good pass to find Payne out on the right-hand side. Just really brave from here, dribbled inside, but Kopp equal to it with a fantastic save early within the first couple of minutes. It was a real scare for Tottenham.
Yeah, Tony Payne playing out on the Everton right wing, and there have been more than one occasion where they've managed to utilise her pace and quality. Big save from Lisa Kopp. She did require a little bit of treatment after that, in fact. Spurs' first attempt and only major attempt on goal, really, came from Tinker Tamberg.
Yeah, it's probably the only time, really, that they've troubled Brosnan in the goal, and I wouldn't really say trouble, but Tamberg gets a header to it there. And again, now Everton coming out, and this build-up down this left-hand side for Everton's been really, really positive. Pacheco. And then Vignola out on this left-hand side, finding the space into Kramchar, who just drives, takes Bartrip out of the equation and finds Mamiki on the edge of the box, and she's only really got one thought in her mind, and that's to strike a goal. It looks to take a bit of a deflection off Ryebrink as she strikes a goal, but again, that really positive from here, and a positive counter-attack and transition from Everton.
Yeah, her second Barclays WSL goal of the season. But a lovely move from Everton, having played out from the back under pressure to take the lead on 13 minutes. Right now, Everton on the route to a 4th successive Barclays WSL victory. There, the deflection that helped Yuka Mamiki open the scoring. And in fact, the setup from Everton perhaps caught us out a little bit in terms of where everyone was playing, but Vignola and Payne on either flank have been able to link up too.
Yeah, Vignola's done really well to find Payne on a number of occasions. This one for me was a fantastic pass, just to catch out the Spurs defence in midfield, and Payne straight at goal. Potentially should have really gone for the far corner on that occasion, but Tottenham having more of the possession, but Everton having the dangerous strikes on goal.
Lovely ball from James. Myra Ramirez, first big chance of the final. It's come back away and she's bundled it in. Chelsea are the winners of the Subway Women's League Cup for 2025.
To be honest, it's not the feeling, I would say, of lifting the trophy and celebrating that moment once you have the trophy in your hands. It's more the feeling of relief that all the work you've done over the year is worth it. And I guess last year was certainly worth it.
Vangerheim can't quite latch onto it. Here's Turlen, and she finds the bottom corner. Mark Skinner's Manchester United are into the League Cup final for the first time ever.
The League Cup final for us would mark a massive jump again. We are not there to take it lightly. There's no fun in getting to a final and losing it.
Oh, what a strike! Another stunner from Manchester United.
This season, for the club, it's going great. We're doing really well in the Champions League. The league, we sit second, so obviously we're up at the top and we're challenging for Champions League next year. And then obviously we're into a Subway Cup final. We've never been there, and that's very exciting.
Shaw looking to get round Germa and finish too.
Carolyn to wrap it up for City. Manchester City have blown Chelsea out of the water.
I'm not going to deny we had some tough moments, especially after the last 2 games we lost, because people are not used to see Chelsea in that position, but we are humans and it happens. Sometimes you can't perform at the level you want to perform and you need to take that accountability and responsibility.
Miyazawa! That is an astonishing goal.
I think you'll see absolutely everything from our team. You know, we have Europe's, especially England's, probably most successful ever team to move out of the way to do that, and we never take them lightly. But you know, there's a moment, if our players play to the best of their ability, then we can create history again.
Smashed in by Sandberg! Well, United showing some real grit and determination.
I think people might think Chelsea's a team to get after, and I know that that's what I would be thinking of my rivals if that was the case, but I think for us, we just got to ignore what everybody else thinks, and you know, that's the hardest thing to do in football.
Big chance here, potentially! Rattled in!
When you're at a club like Chelsea, the spotlight's always on you. Every single game matters, every single game feels like a cup final to me anyway, so I think when you go into a cup final, it's not really an unfamiliar feeling.
This trophy in this final will be crucial for us. Again, when you walk into a final, you just want to win. That's what you want to do when you are in Chelsea. I think we'll have to focus on everything possible for us to achieve that.
It's a win at all cost mentality. I'll put my body on the line. Like, I don't care if it means getting hurt. I'll do what it takes for the team and the club to succeed.
Cuthbert does it superbly.
The club hasn't been together that long. I think it's been 8 years. There's a lot of things we can make history with still. I don't think you realise how, obviously it is, every time you do something you're creating history. It kind of just feels like that's what you kind of expected to do here.
I just hope people kind of see that we play every single game as well as we can and we give everything to the club. And we always want to play and represent this amazing club on the pitch as well as we can. So yeah, that's hopefully what this team can be remembered for.
We still sit in this hungry place where everybody wants to prove themselves. I want our team to continue to do that, live on the edge, and if we can do that, we'll be an incredible team for many years in the history of this fantastic football club.
Teams emerging at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs are back out anyway. Going through their warm-ups. Martin Ho would have had his thoughts on the first half. Fern Whelan, how would he be assessed how his side played as they trail Everton by 1-0?
I think going forward, he would have been talking to them about how positive they've been in their build-up play and about potentially it's just that final ball, that final decision. I think we spoke about it, not seeing them take too many shots really from the outside of the box when they're so used to scoring from those areas. So maybe just varying their attack a little bit. But I think positive on the whole. Defensive transitions maybe switching on a little bit better because Everton have opened them up at times at the back. So that's an area where they can't afford to do that because Everton can be dangerous when they get those opportunities.
Everton are coming back out now. Yuka Mamiki's fine strike, Japanese international. That's the difference between the two teams at the moment. Kind of playing in a front two right now with Zara Kramchar. Spurs in the huddle can't see any changes yet from the respective managers, but England do have attacking quality on the bench, including Bethany England. Wait and see how long it takes for Martin Ho to be tempted to make a change in this second half. Scott Phelan, I'm sure the message for him at half-time would have been that he's absolutely delighted, but to keep playing the way they're playing.
Yeah, and I think potentially opportunities in front of goal, can we be a little bit more clinical? They have had opportunities and good ones at that. They've managed to have shots on target as well. Just putting them in the back of the net to try and open the gap up between them a little bit, because we all know 1-0 is a very dangerous scoreline, especially when you're playing against a team like Tottenham, who have such capability to go forward in numbers and to score goals in abundance.
Well, Gunning-Williams out on the right-hand side for Spurs at the start of this second half, so no changes as the game gets back underway in North London. Molly Bartrett with a big early switch in play out to the designated left-back today, Blackstad. Step over, gets away from Payne, early ball in towards Tinker Tamberg, but dealt with defensively by Everton, which was a pattern of that opening 45 minutes. Summonen. Gaubse. Spurs haven't been short of goals of late. 9 scored across the last 2 matches, including the 7 at Villa Park. Gaubse, who was amongst the scorers that day. It's away by Mace, and even further on by Vignola.
Yeah, it's a good little play there from Bartrett, really, just to get a body across. Make it difficult, really, for Cramchar to get anything from that for the counter-attack. I think just seeing from the kick-off in terms of Blackstad just playing, trying to get a little bit higher up as the ball comes out to her, linking up with Wimberg down this left-hand side.
Cali onto Vignola. Olivia Holt has extremely well used her body to get in front of the ball and draw the free kick.
Yeah, it's good defending. Good defending from Holt there, getting a body across. Looks like she may have come off the worst of the two. See, Vignola didn't expect that coming in from behind. It was good awareness and good defending from Holt.
As she went down holding her stomach there. So we'll see if the Danish international, who did score on international duty during the break, came on to score in a 1-1 draw with Italy. The goals and assists have been flowing for her. Relief for Spurs that she's back to her feet.
Yeah, she's another really important player for Spurs. Already scored 5 goals in the league for them this season. And as you say, not only scores but creates goals as well. So they'll be glad to see she's back up on her feet.
Foul by Gunning-Williams, who's actually into the team today for Maika Hamano, who's away with Japan at the Asian Cup. Blundell, 6th league appearance since joining from Manchester United. Really nailed down that right-back spot following her loan move.
Yeah, and I think since coming in, she's openly spoke about how pleased she's been with the setup at Everton, and Scott since coming in and seeing that managerial change as well, and just what that did, and galvanised the players a little bit, gave them a little bit of energy and a bit of freshness, and obviously she's getting the minutes she's wanted, and it's paying dividends for her. See again, just seeing it back there, Pacheco just holding the share to Gunning-Williams, who had the beating of her.
I don't think we saw much of that in the first half, where she went to go on the outside of Pacheco, right, Fern?
No, she was drifting inside a lot, wasn't she, in the first half? Potentially that's a little bit of a word from the manager, just go at her and see what you can create.
Sumner's delivery is deep, and Brosnan, the Republic of Ireland international, as composed as ever. She signed a new contract last month to keep her at the club until 2028. She's made some unbelievable saves and big results this season for Everton.
Yeah, she's such an important player for them, Brosnan. I think the amount of shots that they faced Everton this season, they do come under a lot of heat and a lot of pressure, and she's equal to them in the goal. She makes some fantastic 1v1 saves.
Vinberg's cross is blocked, and Mace has got an issue here. Her and Blundell just trying to sort it out. Kind of looked like she was trying to put a contact lens back in or something there, Ruby Mace, but she still doesn't look quite right back there for Everton. It's on by Vake. Gunning-Williams again.
Like you said again there, though, Rob, she's trying to go down the outside, isn't she, of Maz Pacheco this time, and try and beat her for a 1v1 battle.
Yeah, Mace trying to sort it out. Bartrip, a splendid ball. Gunning-Williams up against Pacheco again, has Hanavake for support. Holt, Summonen. Throw Spurs.
She still doesn't look like she's managed to quite sort it out, Ruby Mace. I think you're right, though. It looks like a contact lens issue.
Gabset. It will be an Everton ball. Gabset with a rare loose pass. An opportunity as well for Maz Pacheco, a left back today, first season at the club since joining from Aston Villa, with Kitagawa away with Japan.
Yeah, she was getting a lot more minutes earlier on in the season, Maz Pacheco, but Kitagawa kind of cementing that full-back place has kind of kept her out of the side. I think she got an injury as well, so for her to kind of come back into this and be getting some minutes, it's an opportunity for her to kind of cement that left-back place again.
Vignola. Real pressure here from Spurs. Mace. Cramchow's provided that physicality up front again and draws the free kick from Rybrink.
Yeah, I've been really, really impressed with Cramchaw, and as you say, that physicality, she's causing real problems for both centre-backs, obviously, as Rybrink on that occasion, but yeah, that physicality, that awareness, and we've seen what she does when she gets the ball down as well. She's causing a number of problems.
Everton have won at Spurs in the not too distant past. You have to go back to April 2023. Actually did a double over Spurs that season. Gunning-Williams shuts down Pacheco. That battle may be a bit more interesting in the second half. Surely it gives Scott Phelan encouragement here, having named the same 11 4 games in a row, to have made changes, but the ethos and spirit of the team's still the same here.
Yeah, you can see the ethos, the hard work, the mentality. You know, they're going for everything, every 50-50. That's across, you know, all 10 outfield players that we can see. Not sure Ila wanted to have to change the side. Obviously, he spoke in his press conferences about keeping consistency and wanting not to change too much, but you know, the opportunities have came for the players, and I think they're taking it.
It's not fought to pain, and you just wonder if there could have been a bit more composure there from Rosa Van Hool.
Yeah, I think she thought she saw a little bit of space in between the back line and the goalkeeper, but you know, Kopp had quite a fairly good high line there to narrow the space down.
Gabset. Blackstad in space, lovely ball, well weighted. Tinker Tamberg was offside as she weighed up the early cross. Blundell following her. Vinberg. Conway the 1-2 with Galbse, who's back in there again. Payne. Brosnan. And behind Vignola.
I think Pacheco will be disappointed there in terms of the, as you say, the lack of composure really on that pass, considering how, I was just about to say how impressed I've been with Everton when they do defend and then they retain the ball. They are quite composed in possession from playing back to front through the thirds.
Summoning. Gabset. Held up by Kramchar. Nicely worked. Holt, Summonen. Gunning Williams. Toe in from Van Hool. Gabset again. Blackstad. Vinberg peels away. That was good movement, and Spurs get their first corner of the second half.
Thought Vinberg did really well there, just to peel away from Ruby May. She made her make a decision. You could see kind of the indecisiveness as the ball comes in from Blackstad. Vinberg's peeled away, made herself a little bit of space, and Garley's done well defensively.
So Spurs in the first half, if you're joining us for the second, were kind of blasting this into the near post to see what could be flicked on. Well, they go for something similar, but it's poor from Evelina Summonen.
Yeah, they've gone for it again, haven't they? Summonen now coming over to take the corner on that occasion. Obviously something they've worked on in the week. Set piece wise, you can see how disappointed Marty Ho is in that, because the quality and the execution of it just is not paying off for them.
Kramchar tries to pin Rybring, but she does well. Holt, Summonen, Galbset. Oh, brilliant ball, trying to run the game at the moment. Sinja Galbset, Gunning Williams. And it's another corner for Tottenham Hotspur.
It's good defending from Maz Pacheco. I think what I find difficult there is that ball's come direct in from Brosnan into Kramchar. Really well defensively.
Some changes coming for Spurs. 3 substitutes lined up while we wait for this corner. Tamberg did get ahead to it, but she hasn't had a major opportunity to score yet. So here comes that Spurs activity on the touchline. England, Artunen and Spence all appear to be coming on. So Vinberg has been playing out on this left wing, is coming off.
I think she's looked lively today, Vinberg, but obviously just couldn't get her an opportunity in front of goal. I think when they're bringing on somebody like Bethany England, obviously scored 5 goals for them this season. A lot of experience, as you say, she's picked up the captain's armband there, so she'll be one to get on the score sheet for them today.
Drew Spence back as well from suspension. Gunning Williams has made way. And there's Evelina Summonen, who's come off too. So Artunen's gone into midfield.
Yeah, we know what Artunen's capable as well. Capable of, she scored against Everton in the reverse fixture at Goodison Park. So again, she'll be wanting to do more of the same. Drew Spence, with their experience, she gets on the ball, you can see here, first thought forward.
Threatening position. Bethany England just off of the bench. And an early sign that she's going to be a threat here in this second half.
Yeah, I wonder what Everton could do to just ride out these moments, because it's positive down this right-hand side from Vike into England. Headers nowhere near goalwards, but again, just showing signs of that they're trying to get themselves back into this game, Tottenham.
See, Galpset has peeled out to the right-hand side now. Right brink, resets to Zakop. There's a lot of attacking players out on the pitch, it feels right now for Spurs. Here's Spence. Galpset. Mamiki draws a free kick. Feels like Everton needed that, maybe.
Yeah, just to calm it down a little bit for Everton, as you say. Tottenham have just brought on a lot of attacking-minded players in their first forwards to drive forward, put Everton under cosh a little bit. So, yeah, that was needed from Mamiki just to secure the ball. Bit of trickery to draw the foul as well.
Interesting moment there where Everton's defenders were just trying to calibrate exactly what Spurs have done now. How do you see this Spurs shape here, Fern?
I think in terms of Bethany England, she's obviously just sitting behind Tamberg there, isn't she, as a kind of withdrawn centre forward a little bit, just to support that attack going forward. I expect as they go into attack for her to join as a two for that momentum. And as you say, Gaupset drifting out onto the right-hand side, try and cause Maz Pacheco some problems.
Blundell with a throw-in for Everton. They have secured 4 Barclays WSL wins. Most recently back in 2021 in a row, and one of those victories in that run for Everton included a victory over Spurs.
So Holt's come out onto this left-hand side as well, but attacking-wise fine, but defensively she's left Hannah Blundell there in quite a bit of space.
Right brink. It was good work from the front 2 again for Everton. Galpset. One back by Vakul. Kramchar. Tamberg hunting it down. Fernandez. Pacheco. Picked up brilliantly in centre field by Galli, the Italian. Tony Payne hovering on the shoulder of Blackstad at the far post as Vignola's cross might work out. Oh, and Payne couldn't get a toe onto that.
She just couldn't quite connect with it. It's positive play from him. Vignola again down this left-hand side, just wanting to cut inside. Probably the better option, I think, for me was Kramchar, who's just on the edge of the box in a lot of space, but she couldn't quite find her, and she's gone to try and find Payne instead, who couldn't connect with it.
Right brink. Holt. Oh, another splendid turn from Olivia Holt. She's been doing this all afternoon. She's been doing this all season, but can't quite pick out a teammate in Lily White.
No, you could say that was potentially final bit of poor decision-making from her, but actually for me it's good defensive work, right? You can see Garley, look what it means for her defensively, just to get back and to slow Holt down. Really puts her off her tracks and made it really difficult for her to find the right pass.
Spurs getting into good areas but failing to properly cut through Everton. Spence, who was sent off in the win at West Ham recently, back from the ban today. Asking a lot of Hannah Vike, who was a willing runner at very least.
Yeah, it's competitive down that side from Pacheco. I think she's doing really well defensively, kind of whatever's kind of thrown at her or she's coming up against. I think, yeah, we see it again here on the replay, a little bit of a race and a battle, but not really much she can make of that. The pass was too far gone.
Well, Rybrook trying to be a bit more proactive this time and fouling again.
Yeah, I mean, Cramshaw's done well again to cause problems, but for me it's a bit of a percentage ball now. That's probably the third time that Brosnan's gone long from a goal trying to find Cramshaw direct to feet, and yes, it's getting them higher up the pitch, but it's not really securing possession for them as there's no one really around to get on the end of the ball.
Well, on another day, Tony Payne would have got on the score sheet here for Everton, but on the 65-minute mark, she's withdrawn as the Toffees make their first change, and Melissa Lawley is going to come on in her place. It's just her second appearance of the league season.
Yeah, she's another positive player for them. Lawley, again, it's an attacking change for them. She came on in the FA Cup game up against Liverpool a number of weeks ago and had an impact, so they'll be wanting her to do the same today.
Ball down the line for Holt. You were at that game, Fern. What did you make of Everton that day, despite the defeat to Liverpool?
Yeah, I think more of the same today. I think they looked good in numbers. They looked defensively quite solid. It was a good battle between the two teams, but yeah, 2 goals swung it from Liverpool on the day. But I think again it's been positive from Everton over the last couple of games in the way they're looking to play and transition with pace when they go forward.
Cramshaw, great feet as well. Just having some game out there at the moment. Blackstad will reset.
Yeah, and she's offering them a bit of an outlet, isn't she? You can see Mace just wanting to kind of dink the ball into her to go over the press to find her feet, and when she does secure it, she brings players in and around, just wanting to do more of that.
Let's not forget this is an Everton side that ended Chelsea's 34-game unbeaten run with that remarkable win earlier on in the season, one of only 2 in their first 13 league games. Gabset, Spence pushes it on to Holt. And Spence is there to cover it off.
It's that midfield battle again, isn't it? And it looks like at the moment Garley's just, whoever she's coming up against, she's winning it, because again she's wanting to get to those 50-50s first before her opposition. You just think for Tottenham, when they do play it quicker, 1 and 2 touch, that's when they're kind of breaking Everton down. It's just a little bit slow at times.
Brosnan, good energy from Tamberg. Spence up. Still going here, Spence, and she's not happy. She's been penalised, and neither are the Spurs fans in the stands.
Yeah, she's aggrieved by that one, Spence, isn't she? It's the original battle between them. Looks like Van Hool was holding Spence's shirt at one point as well.
Maliki. Rybrook will cut this off. Would be a surprising defeat for Spurs today, not because, well, for Everton, in any way, they thoroughly deserve their lead. They've done very well here so far, but Spurs have been ruthless against the bottom 6 in the table. Here's Bethany England. 27 points from a possible 30 against the bottom 6 in the league this season for Spurs. Here's Gabset. Nice piece of trickery to get away from Hannah Vijk for the moment. Miki.
Yeah, as you say, they've had really good results against the bottom 6, against teams that can sometimes be, you know, the ones where you potentially slip up and you lose points, and that's where they've managed to pick up a good number of their points and competing as well with, you know, with the likes of Chelsea, and they lost 2-0 to them in a few games a couple of weeks ago, but they competed for long periods after that game and could have got themselves back in at a time. So I think they're really growing as a side, Tottenham, and you can see they're definitely trying to build for the future, and they've made some really, really astute signings in this January window as well.
Spence is caught late, and that's in front of the 4th official, who may have had a better view of it than referee Lisa Ben.
I think it's Vignola who's coming into Spence. Does she take the ball first, but then take, obviously, Spence with her afterwards as well? A bit of a late challenge.
Nothing too malicious in it. Bartrip. Rybrink. Galbset. Applause all round from Everton players to each other for keeping their shape.
It's always positive when you see a side kind of doing that, in terms of you can see the communication is good, the teamwork is good, the team effort is good between them as well.
Courtney Brosnan is down for Everton. And we immediately see both sets of players head to their respective managers to try and work out how to play out the next 20 minutes of this game, because Everton will feel they're close to a huge victory.
Yeah, and they have limited Tottenham to very little in front of goal, haven't they? I think it's over 20 touches inside Everton's box, Tottenham, but what they can do with those touches is what's more important to me, and they're not actually troubling Brosnan too much in that Everton goal.
Well, interestingly, it was Martin Ho who kind of exploited the time that Brosnan was down for to speak to his players. Scott Feely just kind of in conference with his coaching staff. The players in discussions with each other. There he is. Jennifer Foster, a part of the setup now, as well as Phil Jevons, former striker for Everton, who Martin Ho knows pretty well too from his youth days at the football club. And the big jacket needed, by the way, Fern. It's chilly. I wasn't expecting this today. It's pretty chilly out here today.
It is, but I've got my big manager coat on,
do,
so I'm all right. Yeah.
You're set. Everton will get the game back underway. Courtney Brosnan's back to her feet and appears to be fine. Vignola will be cut out by Rybrink. Got plenty of goal scorers out there today, Spurs. For the first time in the Barclays WSL, they have 3 players with 5 or more goals. England on 5, and she's in possession here and turns away brilliantly from Van Hool. Bethany England, cutback's good. The finish was slightly skewed from Galbset, but it wasn't an easy chance.
No, Everton made it difficult for Galbset on the edge of the box, but what I love about this is that real positive play from Bethany England, just to pick the ball up and make it difficult, drive at Van Hool, and yeah, it's an easy one for Brosnan in the end, but positive signs from Tottenham there to try and exploit the spaces and drag players out of position.
Oh, well worked again by Everton. Hannah Blundell racing forward. Olivia Holt's down for Spurs down at the other end, by the way. Blackstad stands up defensively to the challenge, but Cramshaw's kept this alive for Everton. Back with Lawley. Did well to keep that move going.
Yeah, no, I think she did really well, Lawley and Cramshaw, to keep that alive and win the team a corner when it kind of looked like it was going to drift out.
Spurs have every single player back inside the penalty area. In fact, there's no one anywhere near the halfway line. Mickey's delivery. Oh, and it's just flicked onto the roof of the net. And Pacheco was one of those in the middle.
Yeah, probably not who we expect to be getting on the end of this, but Pacheco, from Miki's delivery, manages to connect with it just over the bar.
Well, given the fact the Spurs aren't creating much, if Everton were to get a second, you'd feel they'd be close to the victory. Hasn't actually scored a WSL goal yet for Everton, Mas Pacheco, but that was close.
Yeah, and you don't see her score too many aerial goals as well, so probably would have been one of the unexpected ones, but she did well to rise to it first.
Mace. Kramchar. No foul, picked up by Holt, who could have actually worked that back infield towards Spence. Nodded down by Vake. Gaupset. Tamberg pointed as to where she wanted it, but couldn't get a meaningful shot at goal. Spence. Getting word that Olivia Holt's going to have to come off in a moment for Tottenham. Gaupset. Still going, Gaupset! And she manages to squeeze it in! Her first goal at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium gets the host level into the final quarter of an hour. She has looked like their main player in the second half. A quick conference amongst the players at 1-1.
It's a great bit of play in the build-up, and Gaupset's the one who's made the difference for them today on a number of occasions, but you can see as the ball just kind of makes its way through to a little triangle from Tottenham Hotspur, and she just pulls it out of nowhere, really, to beat Brosnan in at the back post. I think Brosnan's probably surprised to see it kind of drift in. It beats two players who are in the box as well and can't clear it. It's pinpoint for her, and yeah, it's a good finish from Gaupset.
Scored her first Barclays WSL goal in the 7-3 win at Aston Villa. Deployed out on that right side, that tactical tweak has certainly helped for Martin Ho to get her into that area. And now Spurs at 1-1 with a crowd behind them trying to win the game.
She's proven to be such an important signing for them, isn't she, Gaupset? As you say, already scored before today. And then making that goal really out of not a lot, because Everton looked organised, they looked like they were in good numbers, but they just catch them out in the way they played in the build-up to that goal. I think it was Rybrink who managed to slip the ball through on the first instance. It was a good finish from her.
Flicked on, so it's a throw here to Spurs. By the way, Spurs made a change following the goal, and it is an introduction here for Matilda Nilden, the January signing from Häcken in Sweden. Her sister suspended today, Amanda, but she comes on the right wing for Olivia Holt, who did seem to pull up at one point, so we'll find out afterwards perhaps if she's okay. Tinker Tamberg. Gaupset's now on the left foot. She's been deployed in a myriad of positions today.
Yeah, it just shows the versatility of her, doesn't it, as a player, that she can kind of operate in any position she's put in.
England has Tamberg waiting in the middle but couldn't lift it. And Everton suddenly don't look as composed. Artinen. Tamberg nearly got there.
Yeah, you're right. Everton just lacking a little bit of composure there. I think it was Van Hool on the edge of the box who probably wasn't expecting the clearance to come to her and fired it straight back.
Arsenal have got a second at London City Lionesses, so they're moving towards the top three in the table as things stand, with United and Chelsea in action in the League Cup final later on today. This is the live league table, and a reminder, Arsenal have those 2 games in hand on Spurs anyway. A double change now for Everton. Mamiki, the goal scorer, is withdrawn, and Kramchar has been outstanding up front, is coming off, so Ima Kabaro is on, and Kelly Gago as well. What do you make of the change here,
Yeah, I mean, with those 2 changes, again, it's 2 attacking-minded changes from Scott Phelan, both players capable of creating goals, scoring goals, and yeah, I'll be wanting to bring them into play as soon as possible.
They're in retreat. Gago, fresh from her introduction. On Molly Bartrip, excellent challenge. Everton pressed to try and win the ball back and a bit more frantic energy about the game.
Yeah, it was a fantastic challenge there from Bartrip when Kelly Gago was bearing down on her, especially with what she's been sent on to do. Look, go direct, attack her defenders and try and beat them. I think she was equal to it for sure. You can see what Everton are going to be trying to do. They're going to be trying to get players like Gago on the ball. Gabarro's capable of scoring goals as well.
Pump forward, nodded down by right wing. Spence, who's just kind of playing in front of the Spurs back four, pushes the ball forward into the direction of England. And it was actually Nilden who was nearly in behind.
Yeah, it was an initial bit of indecision there from Brosnan, wasn't there? But she recovered well.
Popped on by Ghali. Barrow's effort. Oh, given back to Everton. Lawley. Gago leaves it. And England holds up to try and get Spurs moving. Tinker Tamberg. Oh, good play. Shot passing from Everton. Lawley again. Gabarro in the middle. There she is. Better from Everton. They've upped it a little bit with this double change.
Yeah, that kind of fresh energy coming in from the sidelines. You can see what it's kind of done to them. I think Gabarro as well. Svignola just picking it up in the centre of the park, playing it out into Melissa Lawley, who's trying to get the cross into Gabarro. She does really well. She just can't quite get it down and get across the top of the ball. But positive from Everton. Almost feels like the game's just stepped up a little bit, 10-15% in energy with the changes that have been made from both sides.
And it suggests both teams want to win this. Galbset. Another well-weighted ball from her. Tilda Nilden. Not quite wriggled through Van Hool. Blundell. Great running, might be in here. Gabarro, Gago in the middle, waiting for it! And the double change proves inspired for Everton. Right in front of the travelling support from Merseyside, turned in by Kelly Gago. And Everton lead in North London for a second time.
You can see the difference between the two substitutes linking up, and it's Gago who manages to find herself in the box, and she's first to it. You can see what the celebration means, but what a ball by Pacheco down that left-hand side. Ball comes in, and Gago, fantastic finish, and that's exactly why these two have been sent on. It's the link-up from Gabarro, the finish from Gago, and the celebration with the Everton fans to show what it means to put her side up 2-1.
Well, when things are going your way, they're going your way, and Scott Phelan bringing on those two players. Smiles around for Everton, and the fact they up the attacking tempo has been rewarded with the lead again. Fourth league goal of the season, by the way, for the French international Kelly Gago.
Yeah, we said, didn't we, when the substitutes were made, what difference they were going to make, and they've done exactly that. They brought that attacking-minded quality, that tempo. It's just about whether Everton can switch on. It's always difficult when you've just scored a goal to be switched on for the counter from your opposition.
Joined just over a year ago now. Quick, powerful, seen as a coup to sign her at the time. She was actually the club's top scorer last season with 5 goals. Spence. Spurs free kick. really got a game on here now with 6 minutes of the 90 to play. A yellow card has been shown, by the way, by Lisa Ben, the referee. Not entirely sure who that was flashed at. Understand Gabaro was the player shown the caution, having just made the goal for 2-1. Spurs level again. Tamberg will leap, does meet it. England back across, and the touch from Lawley works out nicely for Courtney Brosnan.
Yeah, they've been pretty good from defending set pieces today, Everton. Equal to that one on that occasion.
Here's Mace. It's a super ball, well weighted again into Blundell. Oh, and the movement off of the ball from Everton now is really good. Lawley in. Oh, what a save by Kopp! Flicked it onto the frame of the goal, and Everton nearly had the victory sealed.
What a save this could prove to be for a team, and keeping them in it right at the last moment. It's Melissa Lawley, tries to sneak one in at the near post, and it's a fantastic save. We'll see it from this angle. Lawley takes the strike, point blank range for Kopp, who can nick it onto the post, and again keeps the team in this at 2-1.
She's been busier than Courtney Brosnan, in truth, down in the Everton goal in front of the south stand. It's another example of a bending ball from a fullback, wasn't it, in behind Spurs.
Yeah, they've been caught out on a couple of occasions, Spurs, with those from Everton today.
That's loose. Artinen being trapped by Gago. Spence. Matilda Nilden offside. Didn't keep track of that defensive line in front of her.
It's all about whether Everton can stay switched on for the, as you say, for the final 5 of this game, to hold out what will be for a really important win for them.
Shifted on to Mace. Great work again, Gabaro. And she's got the pace as well, and she beats an effort at Kopp. It does, in fact, go behind for an Everton corner, but they look the more likely team to score.
Yeah, the difference that Gabaro's made since coming on is quite phenomenal, to be honest. She's driving in field here. She goes near post. I think it was Mel Lawley coming in just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Potentially could have found her with the cutback, but yeah, she's won aside a corner at a really important time.
Spanish international takes her spot near the penalty spot here for the Everton corner. 89th minute. Were it not for Lisa Kopp, Everton would have won this match already. Hung out, Gabaro up. Involved in absolutely everything at the moment. Here's Mace. Clipped into the middle, and there's Pacheco again in the air.
Yeah, you're right, Maz Pacheco again in the air. I think it's Ruby Mace trying to get her in this time on that occasion, but just shows how expansive. We've seen Hannah Blundell be up in those areas. We've seen Maz Pacheco in there, so they're not restricted in those defensive positions, the Everton back line.
Mace belts it out. Fern, it's time to confirm your Barclays player of the match.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good time as well, just seeing what she's done there. Good decision making. For me, it's Ruby Mace. I think she's led from the back line. I think she's been there. She's been equal to everything, 1v1. That battle with Tamberg, she's kept her really quiet. And yeah, for me, I think she's had a phenomenal game from start to finish. We saw more of it in the first half, but yeah, she created so many opportunities for her side as well. So yeah, for me, I think she's done really well.
Proving to be an excellent signing. Excellent news for Liverpool, meanwhile, in that battle of the bottom two. They're 2 up on Leicester in St Helens. 5 added minutes. Spurs ball. Can Martinhoe's team get another late equaliser? They were 2-1 down into the closing stages of the FA Cup tie with London City Lionesses before the break in the season. Got their leveller from the spot. Can only watch on now in hope. Martinhoe. Everyone back for Everton. Hung up. England round the back, doesn't hit it properly. Spence turns, and now Everton will flood forward. Blue shirts raiding the Spurs half, and Gago, who's already scored one, wants another. She's held up. England actually got back, in fact, and Spurs survived that.
Yeah, it was positive from England the way she managed to get back there, but I think for me, as that ball's coming into Kelly Gago, she's always going to want to cut in on her left-hand side, which made it slightly easier for the Spurs defenders just to condense the space in and around it. It was a positive break from Everton, though.
It's been a great final 20 minutes of this game, in fact, hasn't it?
It has. It's been really exciting from both sides, but just to see what Everton can do, it's amazing, you know, the strength and depth of some of these teams. They got players off the bench that could come on and make a real difference.
Bartrup has to stop Lawley advancing any further. Scott Phelan having the quality of someone like Kelly Gago from the bench, yep. Testament to the work that Everton have done in the transfer window. Blundell, no rush to take this Everton throw in.
No, when you've got a player of Kelly Gago's quality and a French international you can bring off the bench, it just shows what you've got within your side and, you know, the versatility that you've got to be able to make those changes.
Across finds Scabaro. It's good work from the experienced Spence. Everton will be happy with that.
And I also think not only going forward for them today, Everton, they have looked really positive, but defensively organised all across the park, between from back to midfield to front. I think it's been really pleasing to see. It was kind of against the run of play the way the goal went in for Spurs, but largely across the 90 they have defended really well, Everton.
Gago pulls it out of the air. Spence in, Galbset on the ball. Look at her still with the energy to drive. Gets beyond Gali. Galbset runs to Spence, who can't set for the shot. You can hear the excitement of young voices on the far side of the stadium as Spurs nearly had the chance to pull the trigger.
They did, and they've definitely still got the capabilities and the players on the pitch, Spurs, that can do that. It only takes a moment for them to get themselves back into this game.
Vignola. She still has something to give as well here. Pacheco. Fernandez. Mace. How's your composure? Oh, as I say that, gives it to Spence, but Everton have it back.
What's it, the commentators'
Yeah,
case?
yeah. Everton have it again. Looks like they're seeing this out, Fern.
Yeah, I think last 30 seconds, not surprising that they look to do that. I think Spurs just dropping off a little bit now as well. The intensity's just slowly dropped. But, I mean...
Did someone tell her she's player of the match there?
That's a whole new element of composure that I've just seen there.
Fall by Brosnan. They're trying to bait Spurs into pressing them. But we've now had the 5 added minutes. Referee looks at her watch. Rybrink goes long. England. It does break. England. Blundell with a challenge. Matilda Nilden sees the runner. The runner is Blackstad, who couldn't quite judge it. And Brosnan does enough to see Everton home with all 3 points. What a victory for Scott Phelan's side. That's 4 in a row in the Barclays WSL. They have really turned things around. And the late strike from Kelly Gago has decided this one in North London.
What an unbelievable final 20-30 minutes we had in that game, Rob. I think Spurs getting themselves back into it, but then Everton making the changes, and those decisive changes in Kelly Gago and Gabaro. I thought they were phenomenal when they came on, just to drive the team forward. And, you know, all across the pitch, I know we talked about Ruby Mays, but this player, Mamiki, for me, she was phenomenal when she was on the pitch, on the ball and off the ball. So they really played with the Everton way today. I think it was that kind of, that grit, that determination, and it, you know, it nullified Spurs at times, and they're a difficult team to nullify. I think plenty of teams that have come up against them will say that, but yeah, for me, I thought they were really strong today, Everton, and deserved winners.
The opener scored by Yuka Mamiki, the equaliser from Gabset, but Gago wins it. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Everton 2. What will this victory mean to Everton Film? We'll get on to the wider scope of how they've turned things around, but what will it mean to the team to have won here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
I think to go away from home and to come up against a side like Tottenham, who were, I mean, there's talk of them trying to get Champions League places this season, so it just shows how difficult a place it is to come. And, you know, for a team that have gone through the season and really, really struggled probably to find form, to find confidence, and, you know, gone through a managerial change, which for any players is not easy to kind of see what that's going to mean for them going forward. And that disruption, I think it'll mean so much to them as players, and not any one player, but as a collective, it just shows them what they're capable of. And that win against West Ham, that win against London City, now they've done it again against the Tottenham side. It's just going to give them so much confidence going into their latter games they've got, with obviously the Liverpool derby coming up for them as well. It's massive amount of confidence to be able to take into that.
You can see Martin Ho getting into it with his players and staff in front of the South Stand here. And I think he'll know that at times his team were second best to Everton when they were flying.
Yeah, sometimes you can have all the possession, can't you? And you need to be able to make that possession count, and they couldn't do that today, Tottenham, whether that was because of how well Everton defended and made it difficult for them, or whether they just couldn't find a way to change it up today.
Okay, let's hear from the Barclays player of the match. Ruby Mace is speaking with our reporter, Sophie Downey.
Hi Ruby, congratulations, a big win today. What are your reflections on that game?
Yeah, I think after the break we all had the mindset to come in and just do as best as we can and really show what we can do with the ball, and I think we did that today, and it was a battle, and Tottenham was a really good side to come up against, but yeah, I think we was the better team today.
2 really good goals and making that impact from the bench as well. How important is that strength and depth?
Yeah, so good. I mean, Kelly and Emma coming on and Mel coming on, they did so well, and just to keep us going, and we've all got the same mindset to succeed, and to have a team behind you that really wants to achieve good things is so nice.
You had to withstand some pressure from Tottenham as they came at you in that second half, but you seem to be growing in confidence as a defensive unit. Do you feel that as a team?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Tottenham's a great team and I have a lot of respect for them, and they definitely caused us some danger today, and like I said, I think as a defensive unit we done well today, and sometimes it's the little things that matter, just like a clearance and stuff, and yeah, today I think that was what changed the game.
And up to 6th in the table now, it's been a real momentum change for you. What have been the key reasons behind that?
Yeah, I think for us it's making sure that we go every game like doing the best that we can, and yeah, I think one of our goals was to finish top 6 and to know that it's achievable, and with a group like this and fans like that who have our back and travel with us every week like our 12th player, I think everything's achievable with this team.
Brilliant. Congratulations, Ruby, you are the Barclays WSL Player of the Match. Thank you.
Speaking there, Scott Phelan now with his players, and the keepy-uppies at the back end of the game as well, Fern, as she started doing the flick-ups. Just a sign, I suppose, of the confidence as well, and the character of the player.
Yeah, it did show a bit more confidence than maybe I would have expected to see. I mean, I never did that as a player myself. A minute ago, that ball would have been gone, to be honest. I wouldn't have wanted that anywhere near my own goal. But it does, it shows the composure of her. She's naturally composed, naturally gifted. I thought she had a lot of leadership qualities that came out today, which maybe we're not used to seeing. But yeah, I think there was, really positive from them, and they rode it out to the end and made some phenomenal changes that made the difference for me. I think for Spurs, they will be disappointed with the manner in which they conceded after getting themselves back into the game and making positive changes themselves. But yeah, it was Everton obviously who came out on top in the end.
Okay, let's reflect on how Everton managed to win in North London. Well, the threat from the visitors was there early. They'd already had a really major chance for Tony Payne in the opening moments of the game, but they continued that attacking threat for the opening goal, Fern Whelan.
Yeah, they did. It was Pacheco into Cramcho, who does really well to find Mamiki on the edge of the box, who strikes instinctively well for her. She's been in phenomenal form already this season. Cramcho made a real difference coming into this game. The presence, the positivity, takes a deflection for me, I think, just a little one on the way in, whether it was nestling into the bottom corner anyway. Who knows, but I think for me it was a really positive start for Everton.
Spurs just couldn't fashion much in the first half, and in the second some tactical tweaks certainly helped. Asinia Galbsek got her second league goal since joining the club.
Yeah, she's been really good for them as well during the game, just couldn't find the moment until this moment for her. You can see what it means. She just gets out of her feet, makes something from nothing. She's got 3 Everton players around her, but she just shows that quality, that eye for goal to find the bottom corner past Brosnan.
But Everton were not content with the point. That was clear from the manner with which they went about their task into the final 15 minutes of the game, and the double change proved inspired for the Toffees.
Again, yeah, Pacheco down that left-hand side, but it was the double change of Gabaro getting the assist, Kelly Gargo getting the goal. It was a fantastic finish from her, just to see the hunger to get herself in between the strikers, the defenders, get herself in the box, in between Bartrip and Ryebrink, and yeah, instinctive from her, good look up from Gabaro, and a really good finish to seal the win for Everton today.
So let's have a look at the scores elsewhere in the Barclays WSL. Aston Villa, great result for them after a run of defeats, holding Manchester City to a 0-0 draw. In the battle of the bottom 2, Liverpool beat Leicester by 2-0. Arsenal moved 3 points above Spurs with their win at London City Lionesses. And because of Chelsea and Manchester United's involvement in the League Cup final, very shortly, they're both in action in the league on Wednesday. This is how things stand, and imagine telling an Everton fan a few weeks back, Fern, they'd be up to 6th in the table.
I know, I'm shaking my head because I'm surprised myself, but just because of how down and out they seemed coming into into Christmas, and the difference that the turn of the season's made for them, and obviously Scott Phelan making a difference coming in. They feel galvanised, they look good. They're now 6th in the table, and you know, Ruby May speaks about it. That's where they want to finish, top 6. They finished 8th the last couple of seasons running, so to be in this position is really positive for them.
Fern, thanks for your company this afternoon, and thanks to everyone watching at home. Brilliant drama in the Barclays WSL. Everton make it 4 in a row. It finishes Tottenham Hotspur 1, Everton 2.